Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack complex ideas from really profound texts, break them down, and hopefully give you some actionable insights.
And today we're tackling A Course in Miracles ACM, as many know it. It comes from notes Helen Schuckman took down, with help from Bill Thetford. It's quite a specific program.
Right, it's not about teaching love, is it?
No, not directly. It actually assumes love is just there, always present. The whole point is to help us see and dismantle the massive psychological walls we've built that stop us from feeling that presence.
And the course itself says it's required learning, but, you choose when you take it.
Right.
So today our focus is really zeroing in on one core idea, the holy instant.
Exactly. We want to get into what it is, why it's seen as this key to sort of stepping outside of time, and maybe most importantly for you listening.
Yeah, what does it actually ask of us inside to get to that state of peace? And crucially, how do we stay there?
It's really about understanding that shift, isn't it? Moving from, well, our usual state of fear and time ticking away into recognizing something totally immediate, total reality.
Okay, let's dive right into that recognition then. What is this holy instant?
Well, the first thing to grasp is it's not just like a nice, calm feeling you might get sometimes. The Course is very specific. It says it's the direct result of deciding, really determining to be holy.
Determining to be holy. Okay. And what does it feel like? How does it actually change how I see things? Because, we're so wired for linear time. This happens, so that will happen.
And the Course says the holy instant introduces a sudden shift from horizontal to vertical perception.
Horizontal to vertical. Okay, unpack that a bit.
Think of horizontal as like our usual timeline, past, present, future, cause and effect, always looking back at mistakes, or forward with anxiety. It's like being swept along in the river of time.
Okay, I get that. Constantly moving, reacting.
Exactly. Vertical perception, though. That's like suddenly being lifted out of the river. You see everything, past, present, future, all at once, from a point outside of that flow. It's an immediate flash of truth.
Wow, okay. Like standing on the riverbank instead of being in the current. But if the course is about learning, how can one flash just replace, potentially years of working through things? Feels a bit like a shortcut.
It does seem like that, but the Course frames it as a teaching device. It actually abolishes the need for that long stretch of time. It renders that space, that time for learning, unnecessary.
So it substitutes for maybe thousands of years of gradual learning.
That's what it says. It's not cheating the process. It's more like shifting reliance, relying on immediate revelation instead of slow horizontal struggle. Because truth is immediate. Recognizing it can be immediate too if the blocks are gone.
Okay, so when those blocks do fall away, even for a moment, and you hit that vertical instant, what's the feeling? The payoff.
Oh, it's described as total. Complete absolution, freedom, no condemnation whatsoever. A return to perfect sanity, perfect peace, and perfect love for everyone, instantly.
That's a world away from how the Course describes our usual state, right? It calls the world we normally live in, the ego's world, a thing of despair.
Absolutely. And that stark contrast is supposed to be the motivation. Why seek the instant? Because deep down, if we share God's being, we could never truly be content living in that fragmented, fearful state.
The normal reality we experience full of conflict and, needing to be right, it just can't allow real happiness.
Exactly. The instant is presented as the way out of that quicksand. It pulls you out of despair and puts you back on solid ground, the ground of truth.
Okay, that sounds incredible. But also, maybe a bit daunting. How do we actually get there? If we're stuck in our usual patterns, our ego, what's the first step? The text seems to emphasize willingness, not effort.
That's probably the most crucial point. You don't make it happen through force, you allow it. The Course says all it takes is the desire for it and the willingness to let it come.
So just wanting it and being open.
Yes, and recognizing you actually can't do more than want it and be willing. Any effort to achieve it, like striving for enlightenment, is still, it's still the ego trying to control the process.
Ah, so the only real effort is stopping the fight. The text says, turn your effort against what you have made. What is that? What have we made?
We've made the ego's thought system, and its core programming, according to the Course, is fear. It's totally committed to untruth, which inevitably leads to conflict.
So we need to turn against that system.
Right. The process requires ultimately relinquishing the ego. And notice that word, relinquishing. It's not about destroying it.
Okay, that's interesting. Relinquishing versus destroying. What's the practical difference? Because sometimes the ego feels like something you really want to just smash.
I know the feeling, but trying to destroy it kind of makes it real, doesn't it? It implies a battle. giving it power.
Mm.
Relinquishing is more like withdrawing your belief in it.
And like just stopping paying attention to it.
Sort of. Stepping back, seeing it as a mistaken identity, a wrong interpretation. You stop feeding it your energy and belief. Then the light, the spirit, can just naturally fill that space.
Okay, so the goal is singular focus. Healing means choosing only one goal, peace. But, life happens. Traffic, arguments, bad news. How do we stop believing the ego's take on that stuff? The text says while we think truth and error can coexist, your need for vigilance is apparent.
Right, but the vigilance isn't about watching the outside world for threats. It's about watching your own mind's reaction to the world.
Ah, okay. Guarding my interpretation.
Exactly, because if you believe conflict is real, you're trying to serve two masters, truth and illusion. The goal is unity of thought.
Which brings us to that really practical advice the Course gives for when you feel that peace slipping away, when you get triggered.
Yes, the immediate interruption technique. Whenever you feel disturbed by anything, really the advice is to pause and tell yourself two things internally.
Okay, what are they?
First, I do not know what anything, including this, means. That just stops the automatic judgment in its tracks.
Paul's the usual story I tell myself about it.
Precisely. And second, maybe even more powerful, I will not use my own past learning as the light to guide me now.
Wow. Okay, that second one. That sounds really hard. My past learning is how I navigate. Don't I need it to know fire's hot or, how to drive my car?
That's the ego's immediate objection, isn't it? How can I function? But it's not about forgetting practical skills. You still know fire burns.
Right.
It's about the meaning you assign based on the past. Someone cuts you off, past learning says, that's an attack, be angry. This instruction says, pause that interpretation. Suspend the judgment based on past fear and separation.
And make space for a different interpretation.
Exactly. Make space for the Holy Spirit's interpretation, which is always based on peace and connection. That suspension, that willingness to not know based on the past,
Right.
that's the doorway to the holy instant.
Okay, so we're suspending judgment. Now, the mechanics. If this instant is vertical and gets us out of linear time, how does focusing on the present moment help achieve that?
Well, the Course suggests the Holy Spirit uses time, but only temporarily, like a teaching tool to help us eventually discard it. Time isn't the ultimate reality here.
It's just a classroom.
Kind of, yeah. And the specific practice is incredibly direct. Take this very instant, now, and think of it as all there is of time.
Just collapse everything into this single point. No past regrets, no future worries, just now.
Exactly. And that focus, that collapsing of time, is what allows the vertical shift to happen. It creates the opening.
And what does that feel like, being fully in that instant, sensory-wise?
The descriptions point to something really profound. A sudden unawareness of the body is mentioned. Not that the body vanishes, but it stops being the main focus, the limit of who you are.
So identity shifts away from the physical.
It seems so. There's a sense of the mind expanding, feeling whole, and joining with something else, something bigger. The text calls it a quiet melting in.
A melting in, like merging.
Yeah, a gentle merging with reality itself, where the feeling of being separate just dissolves for that moment.
So the body, the linear world, they just fade into the background because something more real has your attention. And this connects back to correcting perception, especially how we see mistakes or sins.
Right. Normally we have all these categories: good, bad, right, wrong, sin, virtue. The holy instant radically simplifies all that.
How so?
The Holy Spirit, it says, offers only one way to categorize thoughts that isn't loving. They're either love or the call for love. That's it.
Everything that isn't love is just a call for love. Every mistake, every attack.
Every single error, every act of aggression is seen as just a confused, distorted plea for love and acceptance.
Okay, if I can manage to see it that way. How does that act as a defense? The Course talks about denying error as defending truth.
Yeah, but you have to deny the meaning the ego gives the error and do it for the right mind, for peace. When you see an insult not as an attack, but just as a brother's desperate call for love.
And I don't have to react defensively.
Exactly. You deny the error's power over you. You see, it's not actually real in the way the ego presents it. And that, the Course says, reestablishes your free will. You're not compelled by illusion anymore.
So bringing the ego's error, the fear, the attack into the light of that loving perception just makes it disappear.
It vanishes because it was not true. It's like turning on the light. The scary shadow you thought was a monster just disappears because he was never really there. You weren't fighting a real thing.
This clarity sounds amazing, but if it's often just a flash, how do we make it last? How do we live from that place more consistently? The answer seems to involve other people.
It absolutely does. The key to maintaining the peace of the holy instant is extension, giving it away.
You keep it by sharing it.
That's exactly it. The Course states, the holy instant is given to you through your giving it. It's not something you acquire and hold on to for yourself.
And the core lesson to extend is,
Simple, profound. Teach only love, for that is what you are. And the kicker is, you only truly learn and embody that lesson by teaching it, by extending it.
okay, so this means rethinking all my relationships, shifting their purpose.
Fundamentally, the relationship becomes holy when its goal shifts. Away from the ego's goals,
Right.
seeking specialness, validation, getting needs met towards the Holy Spirit's goal, which is shared peace and oneness.
Right. Getting rid of the special relationship idea where one person is supposed to complete me or is better or worse than others.
Precisely. In the clarity of the holy instant, the Course says, no one is special. You see the same light, the same call for love, the same shared being in everyone. There's no separation.
And seeing that universal connection leads to completion.
Yes, not the loss of individuality, but the fulfillment of connection. It's seeing the whole picture.
So, practically speaking, if I see someone, a friend, stranger, anyone acting insanely, as the Course puts it, what's my job?
Your job is perception correction,
Yeah.
purely internal. When you see a brother acting insanely, the text says he is offering you an opportunity to bless him.
An opportunity to bless them.
Yes, and here's the crucial part. You need the blessing you can offer him.
Hmm.
By choosing to see past the insanity to the call for love, by offering that corrected perception internally.
I maintain my peace.
You got it. If you judge his insanity, react to it, you've just joined him in the ego's playground. Offering a blessing keeps you aligned with peace.
Okay, this leads directly to maybe the most challenging bit of advice, how we handle difficult requests, the outrageous ones.
Yes, this one really pushes the ego's buttons.
Yeah.
If someone asks you for something that seems completely unreasonable, unfair, draining, the advice is essentially, do it. Because it does not matter.
Whoa, hang on, do it, even if it's outrageous. That sounds like being a doormat, like letting people walk all over you. That definitely matters in the real world.
That's the immediate, totally understandable ego reaction, right? Because the ego thinks in terms of scarcity, fairness defined by exchange, what you lose. But the core is coming from total abundance.
Abundance of what? Not time or money if the request is outrageous.
Abundance of peace. If you refuse, you're basically saying, this outrageous thing does matter to me. My time, my energy, my fairness matters more than my peace. You're valuing the external over the internal.
So doing it isn't about the other person. It's a statement about my own priorities.
Exactly. Someone who truly knows their infinite worth, who wants only peace, can't actually be burdened by an outrageous request in the same way. They can give freely because they know giving doesn't diminish their true self. It's a demonstration that the ego's concerns about loss and sacrifice, they just don't apply to you anymore. It's about demonstrating your internal freedom.
Wow. Okay, so every interaction becomes this choice point. Am I operating from the ego's limited, fearful resource pool or from the Holy Spirit's unlimited abundance of peace? Hashtag tag outro of Tokol. So, wrapping this up, this whole deep dive really highlights the Course's constant invitation, doesn't it? To remember the eternal holiness that abides in me. It's a clear path away from feeling isolated and guilty towards a shared reality, a reality of peace.
And crucially, that path isn't long and arduous. The holy instant makes the journey without time. It's not about you waiting for God or God waiting for you. The text says, God waits not for his son in time, being forever unwilling to be without him.
So if God isn't waiting, and we don't have to wait...
On the conclusion is pretty radical. There is no journey, but only an awakening. It's already here, waiting for recognition.
That really lands. An awakening, not a journey. Okay, so to leave you, our listener, with something to really chew on. If the holy instant is literally the time it takes to swap hell for heaven, as the Course suggests, how might your experience of, say, the next 5 minutes change right now? If you chose to see every little annoyance, every distraction, every perceived flaw in someone else as nothing more than that simple call for the love you already have and are completely free to give, what would change if you just tried that right now?